Good morning. How are you? I'm back once again. I'm back once again. So, yesterday I did a video while going to the market down there, our village market. I posted it. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel at I am Effie and watch it. It's only 6 minutes. It's a 6-minute video. So today I woke up. Right now it's 9:30 a.m. here in Kenya. I wanted to just tell you guys a little story, a very short story that I have in mind, and it's going to teach you something, a lesson in life. So let's begin the story. But before we begin, kindly click on the subscribe button at I am Effie and help me get to 1,000 subscribers. Yeah. So my story today is about a certain old man. This man lived in a village. It was a peaceful village here just in Africa. And the man lived with the grandson who was 12 years old at that time. The grandson loved the grandfather so much. They had got a farm where they planted cereals and also a few livestock that they owned. They also had a donkey. The donkey, they used it to transport for people water because they were paid. So it was also a source of income apart from their small farm. And during that time, it was during the colonial era. The schools were not there. And so there were elementary schools where skills were taught. The few who had that opportunity would go to those schools to learn things like masonry, so many things. And these people lived happily. The village was cool. They lived in togetherness. They loved each other. Everyone was the brother's keeper. Yeah, and during that time, it was not easy for people. During the only means of transport was maybe by foot, or for them they had their donkey, so they would use the donkey to go to the various nearby places. Maybe during the time when their crops had yielded, they would transport some to the market, they sell them and get some things to use. They used cowrie. There was no money, currency. They had not been brought yet. There were cowrie shells that were used. So one day, the donkey went to a certain neighbor's farm and destroyed some crops there, and the neighbor was very angry. So the owner of the donkey, the old man, had to pay for the damage that had been caused, and he was very annoyed because they were not rich. They were, let's say, they were poor, but they appreciated the little they had. They only lived, the two of them, in a small hut with their small farm, their donkey, and a few livestock that they own. So we can just imagine how it wasn't easy for them. They paid it. There was, after the repaying the damage that the donkey had caused, the following day, the donkey also caused very severe injury to a child belonging to a certain neighbor there. The injury was so severe, but they used the traditional herbs. The donkey kicked the boy, and at the back, the boy got really injured, but they took the boy to a certain healer who was known in the village. So this old man once again paid for whatever damage the donkey had caused. It's very sad. It's very sad indeed. But then kept on holding on to the donkey. He just wanted to do away with it, but something in his mind also told him, no, just leave the donkey. Don't do anything bad to it. Maybe in the near future, it might help, or the only thing that he would do was to tie the donkey for it not to cause any more harm or damage to the villagers. So as time went by, they still had their donkey. They transported their farm produce and sold it to the nearby villages. Some exchanged livestock with the farm produce during those times. The life was so good. Life was good in the ancient times. So life continued like that. It continued until one day the whites came. That was during the slave trade era, whereby they took energetic men and transported them to work in their farms back in their countries. They would be transported. The only means of transporting the slaves was through sea, water transport. During that time, there were no aeroplanes then. Vehicles had not yet been invented. Water was the means, foot. Yeah. So one day, the whites came to the village and they were looking for young men to transport to their country to work for them. And as we all know, it wasn't something that people laughed about or appreciated. It wasn't good at all. People were afraid. Those people who had given birth to kids, those young boys, the young men there, their parents would be very, very unhappy. They would feel sad because they were now going to be separated from their children whom they had gotten used to. So these people came, they worked in the village, they took the energetic men. They only took people who had no blemish, people who were strong, who were not sick, who did not have any physical injury, let's say so. Yeah, as we understood. So they now, after taking the young men there, they finally came to the house where the old man and the grandson lived. They found the grandson there, but fortunately, the young man had been injured by the donkey the previous day. The young man was in the donkey. He had decided to go and take a small walk and was on the back, riding on the back of the donkey, when suddenly the donkey started running very fast and the young man fell down and injured his leg. His leg got broken. He was so much in pain, he couldn't walk. So when these people came and saw the state of this man, they didn't take him. They just left him and they went. So when villagers, almost all the young men had been taken there, they asked the old man what had happened. The old man explained about the incidents that had happened, and they were really, really shocked. So the old man now sat down and said, "Oh, this donkey, I did something good by not getting rid of it. It has really saved me. My boy has not been taken to the whites to work for them in the farm. He has been left here." He was really happy. He was so much happy. And that's the end of my story. So in this story, there are three things that I want us to learn. One, we should not always only focus on the negative aspects of someone, because everyone has got their strengths and weaknesses, but we should also help them to rectify whatever, when we feel that maybe whatever they are doing is not right, without condemning them in a way that isn't human. Let's say that we should always just talk to them and give them that time for change, because everyone makes mistakes. The second one, we should always appreciate whatever little we have. You can see that the old man with that small farm, he was happy. He would work there and they lived happily with that little that they had. Happiness, we give it to ourselves. We don't expect it from anyone. The third thing that we can also learn is that we should always be ready to own our mistakes. We see the old man, when the donkey went and destroyed a neighbor's farm, he took responsibility and paid for the damage. And even when the other child was belonging to one of the villager was also hurt, the old man took that responsibility. So we should not be ready to fight, but rather we should always be polite and diplomatic in handling an issue. So that's all I had for today. I would like to tell you guys to please kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel at I am Effie. I am Effie. Thank you so much. Help me reach 1,000 subscribers and help me get motivated too. You can comment and also help me to build my skills. Thank you all and have a wonderful day. Bye.